The any keyword. With the all keyword that we just looked at, it translates to a series of and keywords. The column you're comparing against needs to be checked against all of the values and pass. For example, the greater than all means your value needs to be greater than all of the values in your list. There is another keyword that's similar to the all keyword. The any keyword is similar to all. Instead of a value comparing against all values to be shown, it is compared against at least one of the values. It translates to a series of all values. For example, if we want to check the salary is greater than all of 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000, it means it needs to be greater than all of those values, or you could say it's greater than the largest. If you write salary is greater than any of 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000, it means it needs to be greater than one of the values, or greater than the smallest value. So what do these symbols mean when using with the any keyword? If you use equals, it means the column needs to match to at least one of the values in the list. If you use not equals, it means the column must not match to one or more values in the list. If you use greater than, the column must be greater than at least one of the values in the list, and greater than or equal to means the column must be greater than or equal to at least one of the values in the list. Less than means that the column must be less than at least one of the values in the list, and finally, less than or equal to means that your column must be less than or equal to at least one of the values in the list. So let's see some examples of the any keyword. Here's an example of a query using or with greater than, where salary is greater than 30,000, or salary greater than 40,000, or salary greater than 50,000. Let's run this query. We can see that there are some results that are greater than 30 and 40,000 but not 50. Some are greater than all values, and some are only greater than 30,000. Let's write the query again using the any keyword. We can copy the first two lines, which are select and from. Then we have our where clause, and then greater than, and then the word any, and then open brackets. Now we can put in our values that we want to check. This means that the salary needs to be larger than just one of these values inside the brackets. Let's run this query. You can see it shows the same results. You can also see, if we scroll right to the bottom, that there are 174 records. Let's change this to greater than or equal to, and run the query. You can see the results look similar, but there are 175 records, so there's one extra record included. Now let's run this query using less than any. This means that the salary needs to be smaller than just one of the values inside the brackets. You can see there are 61 records. Now let's see an example using less than or equal to. You can see there are 63 records, and this means that the salary needs to be smaller than or equal to just one of the values inside the brackets. Now let's try not equals. You can see there are a bunch of records listed. There are 198 records in total. The reason this number is so high is because the query says that the salary should not be equal to any of those values exactly. So out of the 200 records, there are 2 that equal any of those values, and the rest have been shown here. Now let's try this query with equals any. Let's run this. You can see that there are 6 records here that equal any of those values. If you look in the salary column, you can see there are 6 records that equal 30,000, 40,000 or 50,000. So that's how you use the any keyword. In the next section, we'll look at sorting your results.